month. We are meeting some fascinating people today, no exception. He made history by becoming the first black American war hero in the history of the Israeli military.
In a new book titled Black and Bulletproof, Marcus Hardie tells his story of how he broke the bonds of an LA street gang to travel the world and become an international trailblazer. Marcus, welcome to you.
Welcome to the show.
Okay, thank you.
Good to have you. We want to, kind of run through this story. I know it's a long, wonderful story.
A whole book's worth.
But you grew up in Long Beach, you turned to gangs, converted to Judaism, ended up fighting in the Israeli military, but you say your grandfather was very instrumental in all of that happening. Tell us how he played a part in you changing your life around.
Well, during World War II, my grandfather, Charles Hardie, he was a soldier in the United States Army fighting overseas, and he actually became a Holocaust liberator. He and his troops liberated Dachau concentration camp, which is in southern Germany, and he told me the stories about how he came upon Jews who were starving, who were suffering, and he was able to share actually his rations with the Jewish community there. And he my grandfather developed a love and respect for the Jewish community, and he came back and he taught that to me as a boy. He taught me that the Jewish community is special, and from then on I've really been in love with the Jewish people.
So let's take you back to the streets of Long Beach many years ago. You're running with a gang. What happened? What was the turning point?
Well, the turning point was just my grandfather, his influence in my life. I also had a grandmother, Lala Ree, who was a church-going woman, and she really had a profound influence on me. She prayed for me, and she prayed with me. That's almost more important. We would come together, we'd pray. She would anoint my head with oil. She wanted me to rise up out of the street gang life, and it worked because I did.
And it was a Baptist grandmother, and I think that's interesting that you converted to Judaism later in your life.
That's correct. But my grandmother, she loved the Jewish people as well. She loved Israel. And once I got to college, I started getting involved in a Jewish group called Hillel. I started getting active, meeting rabbis, meeting people in the Jewish community, and I decided that I wanted to convert, that I wanted to be a part of the Jewish people, and it really has changed my life. I've been happy ever since.
So then from there, from the conversion, how did it come that you were in Israel and being in the Israeli military?
Well, my Rabbi Herbert Morris, he encouraged me to go visit Israel. He said, go out to the Jewish people, go out to Israel. So I actually got on a plane, obviously, and I went to Israel, and I stayed there for a while, and I went to the enlistment center, and I enlisted in the Israeli army. They weren't going to allow me to enlist because
you would have been an American citizen still.
Because I was an American citizen, and also they said I was too old, but because I was Jewish, I was able to get...
How old were you?
I was 29 years old, and normally the Israeli soldiers are 18 years old.
Okay.
So I was able to get Israeli citizenship because I converted to Judaism, and then I enlisted in the Israeli military, and I served in the Golani Brigades, which is an anti-terror force. Wow. I also served in the Armored Division. I was a tank driver. I was able to actually drive Israeli tanks. I was able to participate in the war on terrorism.
And you were the first black American Jewish man to be in the Israeli army. There were other black soldiers, but they were from Africa,
They were from Ethiopia.
They were from Ethiopia. You were the first ever from America.
That's correct.
What was that experience like?
Well, you know, I was able to share my experience with the Israeli soldiers. I used to talk to them about Americans that I admire. I admire Oprah Winfrey, for example. I admire Michael Jordan.
Sure.
I admire, Colin Powell. And I would talk to Israeli soldiers about those African-American heroes and my African-American role models, because Oprah Winfrey really is my role model. So I was able to talk to Israelis about my African-American experience, and I was able to excite them.
She's got to be the one who's going to make the movie about your book.
It should be a film.
Yeah.
And we decided, who do you want to play you in the film?
I think it's going to be either Denzel Washington or it's going to be Will Smith.
We like that.
Great choices,
So
Marcus.
Denzel or Will, if you're watching, this book is for you. It's a fantastic read. It's titled Black and Bulletproof. A fantastic story. Marcus, we cannot thank you enough for coming in to share this story with us.
Thank you.
What a tremendous life. And it's just the beginning. He's doing a lot of other things, too, so keep an eye out.
We about to set this one right.